Good morning. Do we have any visitors this morning? Everybody's gone home? Good, well, welcome. Today we celebrate the third day of Christmas. I was dismayed. I turned the radio on yesterday, and there was no Christmas music. It was over. Well, it's not over for Catholics. We celebrate it for 12 days. Today is the third day of Christmas, so what are you giving your wife today?
3
French hens.
French hens, thank you. I have to sing it like
Don't sing it. 3 French hens. Yesterday was 2 turtle doves. Did you get your turtle doves? Yeah. Did you? Okay. So it's a 12-day thing, and in the liturgy, we punctuate those 12 days of Christmas with 2 feast days. One today, the Feast of the Holy Family, and then the Feast of the Solemnity of Mary on New Year's Day, and then we conclude with the Feast of the Epiphany. But the whole thing has to do with the early part of Jesus' life. The reading today, remember at Christmas time I mentioned that Luke, the Lucan Gospel, was written by a man who was not a witness to Christ. He was a Greek, he was not a Jew, he did not live in Palestine, he lived in Asia Minor, and he was a disciple of Paul. So he did not have a Hebrew background, and so he wrote in Greek. But it's in Luke's Gospel, all the famous readings about the birth of Jesus all come from Luke. And the reason is pretty simple, that apparently what Luke did was he went back to Palestine and he interviewed the witnesses. Some think that he spent great time with Mary and received her thoughts. The story today about Jesus being lost in the temple is the only place you'll find that story, is in Luke, and it clearly is the recollection of a mother. You know what mothers do, you know. When you bring your girlfriend home for the first time, they bring out pictures of you on a bearskin rug and pictures of you when you're in some awkward position. That's what mothers do. They learn that at mother school. And so Mary was no different. So she told this tale of Jesus. Now note his age. He was 12. He was on the verge of adolescence. So if you look at that passage through that filter, you see adolescence blooming all over the place. Why did you do this to us? Didn't you know, he says? Didn't you know that I had to be in my father's house? I can't imagine what Joseph said, but anyway, he went home with them. And there was apparently no other problems. What's all this mean for us on the Feast of the Holy Family? It means simply this, that the Holy Family was not the family that had no issues, that had no difficulties. It was not the family that had no challenges. It had many challenges. This kid was a problem for Joseph from day one. Remember? First of all, he shows up without Joseph's help. Okay. Secondly, after he's born, they have to take off for Egypt because somebody's chasing them. Then they come back and he goes to the temple and gets lost. So poor Joseph put up with a lot. But the purpose of the Feast of the Holy Family is to show that when everyone does God's will, when every individual chooses to do God's will, as Mary did, as Joseph did, and as Jesus did, that even when those wills collide, respect, concern, and love can still abide. And that's the message for the Holy Family. That's the message for us as we live both in our human family and in our church family. That we can disagree, we can see things differently, we can be inspired by God in different ways, But if we are able to respect that everyone is under grace, if we are able to respect that everyone experiences grace in different ways, if we are able to respect that other people have different needs than I do, then we become the Holy Family. Because we live a life of respect and love, concern, patience, all those things that were mentioned in these other readings. If we stick to our own role, if we stick to what it is we're supposed to do, and respect that other people have calls as well from the Holy Spirit, then we become the Holy Family. Take a minute today and go over and look at the icon of the Holy Family over there. See it? How many of you ever actually gone and looked at it? Look at it. Go and look at it today. And look at the penetrating eyes. I spent months carving that. Go and look at it and ponder what it must have, the challenges that that family must have had. And yet, under grace, they were able to experience God in their own individual ways. And then, in experiencing God, were able to live together knowing that one another was simply obeying God's will.